Hello everybody, welcome back to the Brandon Kid Win channel and another video on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now I did say in my last video I was going to talk about something else, but you know, that video I decided I wanted to redo the second part, so that one's going to take a little bit longer to do, so I figured this is kind of a topical discussion right now, so let's talk about it. So I'm looking right now at Steam charts and specifically at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's player count, and it's not great. So, it is currently February 20th, which is my birthday, by the way. Happy birthday to me. And it is 4:44 p.m., so it's the middle of the day. Right now, within the last 38 minutes, there's been 1,130 players. Last 24 hours, it was 1,540 players. And then all-time is 13,459 players. This ain't great. It looks like the peak was back when the game was first coming out, and now it's just been going downhill. And I want to talk about the reasons why I think the game is honestly currently failing. So let's start with right off the bat, they decided to take way too many risks, okay? So the first one being a live service game. You know, people nowadays are seeing like live service games as a big red flag because of microtransactions and loot boxes and all that stuff and battle passes. You know, the thing is that this game doesn't have a loot box system, which I'm thankful for because that sucks. I mean, at the end of every mission you get like a random weapon, but that's not a loot box, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, the whole battle pass thing, you know, that's not even starting until season 1, but I do see the turnoff for that. But yeah, it being a live service game and always online probably left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I know I've heard that a lot of people were excited for it until they found out it was live service, and they're like, oh, well, shit. The next risk that they had us take was killing the Justice League. Honestly, like, a lot of people have been saying they want a Superman game or like a Justice League game. I personally would love a Flash game, but instead we got Suicide Squad and we're killing the Justice League. So now people are wondering, well, if we kill the Justice League, are they going to make a Flash game? Is that possible? Are they going to make a Superman game? We know that a different studio is making Wonder Woman, but like, I'm sure people want to see what Rocksteady would do with like other DC superheroes, and it's just kind of like, okay, so I guess we're not getting an Arkham Superman game or an Arkham Flash game or Arkham Wonder Woman game or Arkham Green Lantern game. It doesn't look like that's gonna happen if we kill the Justice League. Now, there are some theories out there that we're not actually killing the Justice League, but that's for another video. I can see that being a turnoff too, because the thing is like, as cool as Harley Quinn is and King Shark, and I know a lot of people like Captain Boomerang and Deadshot, like, people are way more attached to, say, Batman and Superman and the Flash and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. People are more attached to superheroes, you know, and opposed to supervillains. Like, I have way more attachment to Arkham Batman than I do Harley Quinn, if I'm being honest. Like, I like Harley Quinn, she's really cool, but she's a really fun character, but she's not Batman. Because, you know, the superheroes, you see more of them, and, you know, growing up, they teach you kind of like to be like them, you know, superheroes and stuff. I don't know. It's just, there's more attachment to the superheroes, so when you find out you're going to have to kill one of your favorite superheroes, it doesn't feel good, you know? Like, when I had to kill Arkham Batman, you know, I felt kind of bad, because especially with it being Arkham Batman, which we're going to get to in a sec, like, gosh, man, as a Batman fan growing up, that just sucked. That sucked. But, you know, I was open to the idea because I know what I was signing up for because of the title of the game. But still, it's like, I don't know. I can see it leaving a lot of people with bad taste in their mouths when it comes to that. And then I kind of mentioned it, but the last risk that they really took was having it set in the Arkhamverse. I mean, we all know why they did it. It was to sell the game, help sell the game. You know, get the Arkham fans that grew up with the Batman Arkham games to check this game out. But, you know, I think that plan actually kind of backfired because, you know, with the change in Deadshot, they had to explain that. And so they made a whole, like, little, if you find, like, tapes around or whatever, it's like a whole subplot kind of in a way, like, on like a side plot. It's really weird, and it's, like, mentioned a lot, and it's like, okay. So, like, there's that, and then, you know, it's hinted at in the story when we get to the point where we're about to fight Batman that Robin's possibly dead now too. Batman probably killed Robin. It's like alluded to kind of, but I don't think so. I have a whole video idea on that as well, but you know, that's just, you know, it being said in the Arkhamverse made it kind of a mess. On the prospect of it story-wise, it's kind of cool that it takes place in the Arkhamverse in a way, because we already have a pre-established universe now, you know, at least part of the universe. And this is kind of like extending it, you know? This is what Metropolis looks like in the Arkhamverse if it was in an apocalyptic setting. You know what I mean? So I kind of get on a story and a world-building level why they set it in the Arkhamverse, but we all know it was mainly to advertise to the Arkham fans, and like I mentioned, I think that kind of backfired because I think a lot of Arkham fans are actually more pissed off at this game than anything. Alright, so the next thing is gaming outlets. So a lot of people listen to gaming outlets or like YouTubers that talk about these games, and there's a lot of YouTubers out there that, you know, talk positively about this game. There's a fair amount that are pretty fair on the game, but then there's also those who are just saying it's trash and it's bad and, you know, stuff like that. Now, looking towards like individual YouTubers, you know, I do think that everyone is right to have their own opinion, you know, but I think the best way to form your own opinion is to actually get your hands on the game yourself and then decide from there whether you find the game entertaining or not. Or like, you know, maybe you can just like watch game footage and then maybe if you don't like what you see, then okay, it's not for you, which is fine. Now, gaming outlets is a little bit of a different story because I feel like a lot of them can be actually pretty biased. And yeah, I'm looking at you, IGN. Yeah, I am looking at you because it seems like you were open to giving the game a chance until, you know, people kind of clowned you for saying the Flash was too fast. And also, I love how you guys were like so pissed off that you didn't get a review code. You know, you kind of should have seen it coming at the same time if that was not the case, and there were people who did get review codes and you didn't get one. If you're gonna talk shit about the game and be on this weird hate train, which I that should be its own video, really. IGN on this, like, God, I hate them. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people should go with their gut when it comes to like games. Like, if you're looking at this game and you don't find it appealing, that's fine. You know, don't play it. It is what it is. Some people like me see the game and they're like, oh, that looks like fun, you know? Interesting story and all that, or idea. I get people respecting the opinions of like their favorite creators, you know, that's fine. There are some that there's one I'm just disappointed with. I won't really say their name, but like they literally went into it expecting it to be bad and played it on a mouse and keyboard when they really pushed and recommended that you played it with a controller. But, you know, it is what it is. So I think people like who respect either the journalists, like gaming journalists, they probably were turned off from this game because of their opinions on it, which, you know, is fine. But I just think that's one of the reasons why the game is failing. That brings me to another point. People just don't think it looks fun. Like, the core audience they're aiming for probably don't even play these kind of games. Let's be honest. Let's talk about what they could be aiming for, okay? If their target audience were Arkham fans, they'd be pissed because they have to kill Arkham Batman, you know? This character that's been developed through 4 games, like 3 by Rocksteady, 4 if you count Origins. It's like, we've seen 4 different adventures with this character that we've grown attached to, and now we're just killing him? Like, what? That's just kind of a weird thing, you know? And then if their target audience are people who are into looter shooters, there's a big chance that, you know, a lot of them might not be DC fans, you know? Maybe they're fans of Marvel, or maybe they're not even superhero fans, and they like their Fortnites and their Borderlands and stuff like that, you know? So it could be that Rocksteady was aiming for a target audience that just, you know, didn't want it, you know? I think another big reason that the game is failing is the timing of its release, because it was really bad timing. Like, even when the deluxe edition came out, when you could play it 3 days early, it's like, okay, so Pal World just came out, and you know how many people were playing that game? Holy shit! That game was like, I think the most played game on Steam for a good chunk of time. So a lot of people probably wanted to play Pal World over Kill the Justice League. Then the day the Standard Edition came out, Persona 3 Reload, a really high anticipated remake that even I was looking forward to, you know, that came out the same day as a Standard Edition of Suicide Squad. So obviously if people are more Persona fans, you know, they're gonna want to play that a little bit more. And even now, very recently, Helldivers 2 came out, which I personally didn't hear of until a coworker told me about it, and now I see it everywhere. But yeah, Helldivers 2 is apparently also another live service game, and you know, that has a player base too, you know? And you're not killing the Justice League in that. So I think the timing was really bad, but I get they had to like push it back a bunch of times to like make sure everything's good. Like, in their defense, it's their first time doing a live service game, so yeah, I just think, like, as much as I would have hated it, maybe if they pushed it back, like, to around a time where there weren't a lot of popular games coming out or hyped up games, then maybe things would be better. And it doesn't help that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out on the 29th as well, so yeah, I don't really see it doing too well, at least until March. We'll get into that. And then I think the last reason that the game doesn't have many players right now is because people who have beaten the game already are most likely bored by now and just are waiting for Season 1. Because if we're being completely honest, post-game, there isn't much to do. The only thing really is to grind for the gold outfits by reaching level 100 on Finite Crisis, and that's just playing the same 3 missions on repeat, which could be really boring. And it's just on harder and harder difficulties, you know? It gets hard too. Like, I was stuck on Mastery level 12 until I got boosted up because I joined a online lobby that were playing like, I don't know, I think it was like level 25 or something difficulty. So I got boosted up quite a bit because of that, so I don't know. That's just me having a skill issue though. But yeah, like, it's literally just, like, the Ivy mission, and there's the, one where you smash all the crystals missions, and then just one where you have to beat a bunch of enemies mission. And it's just, like, you know, it gets old, like, quick, especially if it's just 3 missions. So, like, really, the only thing to do is either you can go back and play some of the story again, or you can mess around with the other squad members and build their perks up and, you know, work towards building up your squad points so that, I don't know, your damage does more and you can last longer and stuff like that. Maybe work on your perfect build in anticipation for Season 1, but there aren't many things to do once everything's said and done right now. So let's talk about how they could possibly fix some things. So, like I've mentioned a couple times in this video, the player count might just naturally go back up once Season 1 comes out, which we don't know when that's going to be. We just know that they're aiming for March. So hopefully it's not late March, because then this game's probably going to be, I don't know, dry for a while. People might also come back once, like, the Battle Pass starts to become a thing, you know, and people have, like, things to work towards too. Hopefully, like, that includes premium currency in the Battle Pass, because a lot of people probably don't want to just buy all their skins, you know. Because right now, the only way you can get premium currency is literally via money, so. And of course, having more endgame content would help, for sure. Yeah, you can still have incursion missions, of course. Like, my problem isn't that we have incursion missions, it's that we only have those 3. If you add, like, you know, just have, like, 5 or 6, at least. Like, double the amount of missions you can do post-game. Perfect. That would be perfect, you know? That's fine. You just need to have more than just the Ivy mission, which is super hard for me for some reason, and then the other 2, and it's like, it'd be fine. Like, I think it'd be cool to have an incursion mission where you have to, you know, I've mentioned this in a past video, my favorite side mission to do is the one where you have to go around and rescue civilians. So if you could go to, like, whatever Earth is the Earth you go to in the next season, you rescue, like, the few remaining survivors there and take them back to Earth 1 as kind of like a refuge place. I think that'd be a cool incursion mission to do. So, like, yeah, add those kind of missions, and I think we'll be good. All in all, I think that the game isn't dead, but it's definitely struggling right now. And I have high hopes in Rocksteady that they'll be able to push through, and hopefully the game gets better as time goes on. I know people talk about Gotham Knights and how that game's actually gotten better. It was on sale, so I actually have it. I might make a video talking about that if you guys are interested. I might play through it. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the game's performing, but like, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think that this game is just doomed to fail, or do you think that they'll be able to make some kind of comeback? And, you know, if you think they'll be able to make a comeback, what do you think they should do to, like, improve how the game is now? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your opinions. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do. And, yeah, so long and good night.